Okay, so I have started mine already. I printed my photo in black and white because I want my face and features and everything to be black and white except for the rainbow. I'm going to make that in color. So I started shading in black and white. You're welcome to do this technique if you want to. Again, you'll be able to choose either paint, colored pencil, or you can use regular pencil. Or you can do a mixture of different things you can combine, because I'll need to use colored pencil for the rainbow. So remember how we traced all of our lines and all we've made are our shapes? So this is kind of our guide. It doesn't mean we're going to just color in the shape and leave it there. That tells us where our shadows are and where our highlights are. So for instance, if I'm looking at this shape right here, that's this shadow right here. Okay, so I'm going to just start shading very lightly.
Come to the office. Your mom is here to pick you up. Tyler Tees.
Okay, and then once I get that down, if I want, I can use a blending stump. Blending stumps don't have any graphite in them. All it is paper that's wound really tight that helps you blend. So instead of using your finger to smudge it, you can use your blending stump. Okay, and that shadow kind of helps define my jaw area there. Okay. And so then if I go into my mouth area, I'm very lightly going to start shading.
Please hold route 802 for Tyler Tees' mom.
Now, if you push really hard when you're shading with anything, with colored pencil or a pencil, you're not going to be able to make it look smooth. So I've kind of placed some value down there, and then I can go back in with my blending stump. And I'm not pushing hard at all. I don't need to. Okay, because if you have done your shading right, then it's going to blend really well together. And I just want to make sure that any of those harsh outlines that I've made in the beginning to kind of define where my shadows and highlights are, I want to make sure that those are gone. I don't want to see those anymore. So there's my lips there, and I've got my teeth, and it gets really dark right around here, so I can kind of block that in a little bit darker. Okay. And my teeth are white, but there's still some definition between my teeth, so I'm gonna go in, and it gets really dark under there too, so that'll help define them. So I don't want to make these big blocky beaver teeth. I just want to shade a little bit to kind of give an idea that there's teeth there, that there's some definition, but I don't want to make it super defined. And then I'm going to come into here and get this gets pretty dark in here. And there's a lot of just going back and forth, but you can see that I'm not keeping those harsh shapes that I made. I'm just using them as a guide because I don't want to keep them there. Or it's just going to look really flat. Okay, you really just want them there so that you know where to put your values. Okay, and you can go back in and use your eraser if there's a highlight that you need to get in. And this gets pretty dark in here. And I'm going to fade this out because I don't want a harsh line there. But it does get pretty dark by my teeth. But remember, I'm going to use colored pencil for this. So I'm just going to make it really dark where there's going to be that shadow. And then my colored pencil will fade into this. So I'm going to kind of make this a fuzzy edge here, because my stripes of colored pencil will fade into it. Looks like I've got kind of a wrinkle and a shadow there that I can add in. So there might be some details that you add in after the fact, and that's okay. I'm going to soften that up a little bit. Okay, and it looks like there's a little bit of a shadow here. So I might just put some value there. And then kind of go back in, soften that up a little bit, blend it really well. I don't want to see my marks that I made. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth. And again, if there's anything you're not happy with, erase it. That's why we work so lightly. Because if you work with a heavy hand and a lot of pressure, it just makes it so much harder to correct any errors. Okay, so now it looks like most of my face is done. So I'll start working on my neck and my shirt here. Now these shapes are going to be pretty defined because they're pretty defined in this image. But again, all I had here, if you look at my line drawing, this is what I had on my page before I had this. This showed me where to shade and where to put highlights. I didn't keep these shapes here. It just gave me a guide as to where to put things. So like this right here, right? That's a shadow. So then I made a shadow there. But I didn't keep it harsh like this line. I didn't just color this in. Okay, I shaded. That's why when you draw, you really want to make sure that your lines are super, super light so that you're not left with ghost lines. Because that's just going to make your image look flat, and we want to make it look three-dimensional. Again, there is no pencil on this blending stump. There's no lead or anything. I'm just using the leftover residue from blending. And I'm going to kind of blend that in a little bit. Okay, so got a good start. I'm going to finish up with my pencil on the rest of the image, and then I'll go in with colored pencil for this.